right, I think this is working now. Um, Hello, everyone. I'm Tyler Cunningham. I'm a programming researcher for the Near North Mobile Media Lab for Digital Creator North and Digital Creator Online. And today we're going to be going through how to build your own Hangout space in Gather.town. So I'm going to go through a couple things today. First, we'll basically learn how to do the basic backbone of a Hangout space in Gather.town. And I'll sort of go around and show you our own space just so you can get an idea of what it could look like. I'll show you how to do different flooring, how to make walls, how to make the walls and different objects feel like solid so you can't just walk through them, how to make private spaces, and then I'll talk a bit about objects, the different kinds of objects, decorations versus objects you can interact with, and what you could do with that. And then I'm sort of going to go through other things you can do, like adding photos to your space, adding different things you could do, such as broadcast spaces, so you can, talk to everyone in the space at the exact same time. And I'll also tell you a bit about privacy in Gather.town and how to send it to your friends. So that's what we'll do today. And first, I just wanted to show you our space if you haven't been here before. So this is our Gather.town space. We have a lot of rooms built in here. This is sort of our foyer with a bunch of different solo activities. This is the art gallery where we host the work that has happened in Digital Creator Online. We have a game room, which has a ton of different embedded games in Gather.town and also links to different online games that you can play. We also made an escape room. It's just rendering. There we go. We also made an escape room with a lot of different cool riddles and puzzles to solve that people can come in and try. And this is sort of an example of what we could do. I actually used a photo on to make this background, and so I'll show you how to add a photo and sort of make it realistic just like that. I'm just going to go back to the space. I just wanted to show you this real quick. And I'll also show you, you'll see that I can go between rooms and I can portal in and out of spaces, and I'll show you later how to do something like that as well. And lastly, we have our tutorial lab. I didn't get to show you, I forgot to show you, down in this corner. This is where we keep all our old workshops. This workshop will go in the tutorial lab after I'm done. And then we have our collab room, which has a lot of different softwares where you can work with other people on stuff, on projects. We have a lot in music and also in drawing. But for now, what I'm going to do is I am going to go to this gather space. All right. And I'm pretty sure you can see this. Good. So here is my space. It is very simple, 4 walls. Nothing really shiny about it, right? So there's 2 ways to start making stuff in Gather.town. The very first way is when you'll come in, and when you start making your own space, you'll see this hammer. This hammer is very easy. You can just, it's mostly for adding objects to your space. So when you click it, you'll see build and erase. You want to build because there's not really anything in the space yet. You can open up Object Picker, and you'll see a bunch of objects that you can use while you're in the space, right? So you can have decorations, hang them up in the space, right? So there's a lot of different things you can do, a lot of different decorations and various different things. But for now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually do the button that says Edit and Map Maker. And editing in Map Maker allows you to do a lot more, which is why we're going to really focus on that for today, okay? So first of all, you'll be brought to this sort of this grid-like formation. And the first thing you'll see, and what I'll start with, is just walls and the floor. So say I don't really like this hardwood floor. You're going to go and press walls, floor, and you'll sort of see you can toggle between walls and floors, and there's a couple different options that they offer you. So say I want something more modern, maybe like that one, okay? So what I can do, first of all, what I can really do, I can just go ahead and erase all of this. Maybe I want to start from fresh, okay? So what I'll do, now that I'm sort of restarted, is, and actually let's just get rid of everything, right? We really want to just start from scratch here, okay? So I'm done. Let me get rid of the objects while I'm at it. Okay. And then this is just spawn tiles. We can ignore that for now. Actually, let's not ignore that. We'll leave that there, okay, for now. So the first thing we want to do is we want to add floors. So go back to wall, floors, click floors. You'll see a bunch of different floor options, right? Totally up to you what you can pick. It's very easy to add flooring. What you'll do is you'll pick, and for now, I kind of like, let's do like a modern sort of deal. So we'll do like a gray. And all you have to do is you just click and drag, and flooring will be added right away. And I think at this part, you can start sort of making what you want your room to sort of look like. So say I have like maybe a room here, and then I have a room down here, and then maybe I have like a little nook right here, okay? So this is what I'm going to sort of start out with, is maybe I'll have 3 rooms. I'll have a room here, and a room here, okay? So now I can add some walls. Very easy. You can pick which one you want. Maybe I'll pick this one. Now for this one, you can't really click and drag, because I'll show you what happens. When you click and drag, you just get a bunch of, you don't get like walls, you just get like a block, okay? So it doesn't really work the same way. What you want to do is actually just draw out your square. So draw a line, it'll leave the wall. See, and now it's not filling in the middle for you. Okay, so that's how we'll actually go ahead and do it. So now we're going to build a wall around our room. So you'll see now I'm dragging. And by the way, what you should know is when you click on a square, it'll drop down the top of the wall. So see right here, right? So it'll, just remember that when you click and drag, it'll always be the top that you're sort of placing, okay? So let's finish up, just putting it around the perimeter here. All right, add that. And just so you can keep your size of the room, make sure you always try to place walls just on the outside, because it'll look like it's filled, right? So you don't have to worry about trying to, oops, I didn't want to do that. You don't have to worry about filling it in at all, right? You can just do the outside if you want. All right, and perfect, okay. So you can go ahead and click done. That'll be our wall for right now, right? And actually, one more thing we can do. Say we wanted to separate these rooms out a little bit. Well, what you can do is just do a little opening like that, right? So, and now you can see you'll have these little openings, and you'll be able to go from room to room. So let's click done for now. Easy. Now let's just go back to see what it's like. It'll just take a second to load. I'm gonna have to save first. Okay. And here's our room so far. Looks great. You can see I didn't take out my walls from the side, but I can do that in a moment. Now what you'll notice is, oops, the walls are passable. So while you can see where the walls and floors are, I can actually just walk out over everything. So we want to prevent that because we want it to be somewhat realistic. We want to make sure that people know it's walls. So how do you do that? If you go to Tile Effects, you'll get a list of options: Spotlight, Private Area, Portal, Spawn, and Impassable. So how you make walls unpassable is you click Impassable. And then you'll be able to place the squares that you cannot go. So for walls, all you need to do is just make sure where the wall begins is impassable. So you'll notice here when I'm doing it, I'm not doing the top layer because it doesn't matter, because if someone walks into this red block, they won't be able to get up there anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and just block all of this out. Whereas here, they can go on both sides, so you have to make sure that it's impassable from both sides, right? So let's go ahead and finish that, and then we'll see what that's like. Oops. Doesn't really matter, but I'll just go ahead and delete. And then you can erase also. So this is for adding, this is for erasing, just so you know. I'm just gonna go back to walls so I can go ahead and delete all. Oops, no, I wanted to delete it. So make sure you go to the eraser, not the stamper. Done, and let me save. So now I can't go. See? I can't go at all. It just pushes me right back. So now it somewhat feels like a wall, right? Because I can't go past anything. Great. So another thing you can do, one of the other tile effects you can do is something called a private area. Now, how Gather works is when you're near someone, their video and their audio will pop up, right? But you can make it so that everyone in a room is visible and you can hear them at a time. And when you walk out of the room, you can't hear them or see them anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that. So let's just have 3 different rooms. So this will be a private room, right? This will be a private room, and then this last one will be a private room. So when you press private area, the first thing you'll need to do is set a private area ID, right? You'll see that right here. So we can just call our first area ID 1, and once you do that, and you just start clicking, you'll start to see that each square comes up as a 1. For this one, you can't sort of click and drag to do a rectangular square area, but you just sort of have to click and then drag it, and then it just sort of fills in for you. So it might be a little tedious, but that's okay. I sort of loop it like this when I do it, right? And so you can also do some unique things. Say, I don't know, you want to be more experimental. You can set, you don't have to be in the same room to be in the same private area. So say you wanted to make, I don't know, a mystery adventure and you wanted to eavesdrop on someone in the other room. You can color some of these 1, and then you could color some of the ones in the other room 1. So that's just something cool you can do. So actually, let's just do 2. So, these 2 will be private areas, but the main space will just be a common area where you can talk to people as they walk by, and then they can go into one of these 2 private areas. Okay, so that's what we'll do for right now. So we'll go ahead and save it once I'm done. And if I go back, you'll see In this common space, you can sort of see everything. If there was someone else near me, you would see that they can talk to me as I walk by. But as soon as I walk here, everything turns dark because I'll be able to see and hear everyone in the space with me, but I won't be able to hear anyone else that's outside the room. So that's sort of why that does that. I don't know why the walls are still there, but that's okay. We like that. All right, next thing. Let's talk about some objects. So we can click this object icon at the very top, and we can click more objects. So this is the sort of collection that Gather has for different objects. So there's a lot of different types of objects. The objects are usually like decorations or sort of cosmetic things that you can put in our space that don't really have any interactions. And then there are objects where you could like engage with it and do fun stuff with it, right? So I'll just, we can start just doing some of the ones in decoration first, right? So we already did those buntings, but they have a lot of stuff for you to explore, and you know, I won't show you everything for today, right? But you can just really explore to your heart's desire anything you want and put it in the space. So let's say some calendars want to put up, maybe one there. Each room will get a calendar, why not? We always need rugs, of course, to decorate our space. So we can add some rugs, right? So maybe we'll have one there, we'll have one there, and there. And then let's do a different rug. We'll do, why don't we do rug? We'll do a big rug, sort of just in the middle, and then two big rugs here. How about that? So that looks nice, and then maybe each one has a table, and we can sort of make it a, yeah, let's do, maybe we have, so maybe each one here. You can also change the color, so you'll see sort of on the side you can change the color of the table. I'm just sort of not really thinking about design right now. I'm just sort of thinking about things that look vaguely okay. Ooh, this looks kind of cool. Some cyberpunk tables, so we can add some of those in our space, right? And then let's just add one more. How about a pool table? That's fun. And unfortunately, the pool table you can't actually play, but you know, nice to have anyway. And remember, we'll be able to actually walk over these unless we do the Unpassable tile effect. So we want to make sure when you put it down that you just sort of make sure that each of those objects are impassable. And you can sort of just be rough with it, right? Because you just want the effect that you can't walk all over it. It doesn't have to be perfect. All right. Oh, okay. So look, now we have all these things in the space, and now that I made it impassable, I won't be able to go through them, which is perfect. I feel like we need some plants, actually. Plants are really important. There's a lot of plants in here too, by the way. A lot to pick from. So let's just do a collection. Let's do, I don't know, some of these. Boom, boom. Looks like Pokemon wild grass, you know? We could do some bamboo. Bamboo always looks lovely. Oops, no. And let's do one more, why not? How about some rose bushes? I know they don't really live inside, but it could be cute. All right. remember, just do a little Unpassable thing just so they seem realistic. Actually, we can walk in those. Okay, save. And you can see now we add some plants. So cute. So in addition to things that sort of just exist in the space, you can also add a bunch of things that you can interact with. So we can talk about a couple of things first. The first thing to talk about is what they call wayfinding. So a lot of these are just regular, like the arrows you could put in the space to lead to a specific direction, but the bulletins, you can actually write a note. So these are called note objects. And you'll see when you click on it, it prompts you to the note. These things called object interactions, which just mean this object can do something specific. It either goes to a website, it has an image or a video, or it has a note in it. So this one, you can write a little message. Let's do this. Welcome to Digital Creator. Okay, so that can be our message. Activation distance is just how far away you have to be to actually get some sort of prompt or be able to click on it. And then if you go to advanced options, you get this thing, ignore this stuff for now, but there's a prompt message. So when you walk up to an object, you get sort of a message that, quote, prompts you to do something. So if I wanted to tell someone what it is before they interacted with it, I would do something like that. So we could say, hello, click me to read me, or click X. So by the way, just a thing for Gather is, let's just do one actually. A thing for Gather is you use X to interact with an object. So I'll show you what that looks like. So now we have our bulletin in our space. And by the way, whenever you press, you have to press save before it shows up here, just so you know, in case you weren't sure. So as you see, I'm gonna walk up and you can see my little prompt message came up. And then to interact with the object, you actually have to walk up to it and press X. And when I press X, it says, hello, welcome to Digital Creator. So that's just how that works, how you can interact with objects, very simply. But you can also actually do specific objects to different things, like different websites. So for example, so say I wanted to have this rose bush. Let's do a different one. Okay. Let's say I wanted actually this bouquet, right? Maybe to go, or let's do this, this maple tree. Let's say we wanted this maple tree to go to Digital Creator, the website, right? So this is just an example. I would go to the embed website option, right? When I click on it, it says it defaults to no interaction, but I could click on embedded or either embedded website or note. You should know that some websites aren't actually compatible. So we can see if the Digital Creator website is actually compatible. So I'm just gonna put my maple tree right in the middle of the room. And I won't worry about making it impassable or not for now, because we'll just try it out. So if I press X to interact with it, I see. So, okay. Yeah, so some websites do not work, so that's why that didn't actually work. But what you can do instead, if you wanted to do something like this, you can go to the object, go to notes, and then you can write digitalcreator.ca, right? So if I save that instead, we'll Hold on, I'll just have to refresh. So if I do that instead, I then get the link that I can click on and then go to the website. Okay? So there's a lot of things there you could do. I mean, there's also things that embed right away. Like, for example, there's a lot of games you can do, a lot of really, really fun games. So I'll show you for an example. Here's this piano that we really love to do here. And when I go to the piano, press X, it embeds a website that actually has this piano that I can play. So that's kind of cool, and there's a lot of different things you can do there. They have a bunch of different games. They have code names, One Night Werewolf, Poker, Sudoku, Set. You can explore it yourself. And the other thing that is really cool that exists here is they have a couple different sound options. For example, say you wanted to make your space sound like a rooftop or some sort of like party ambient space, right? So if I put that in there, and it sort of looks like that, you can just sort of hear, and maybe it's hard on the recording, that it made it sound like a rooftop of a building. So you can explore a little bit on different things possible there, but really there's so much you can explore and see that are really, really cool different ideas that you can do. So I already showed you how to make your own interactable object. Each object you can either try out a website to see if it works, or you can even upload an image or a video. So that's the other thing too, is you can really make some of these objects really dynamic. Say if you wanted to make your own adventure and have, I don't know, a flyer on one of the objects, and you create your own flyer and put it onto the objects. You can do that here in Gather.town. There's really a lot you can do. Yeah, anyway, two other things you can do. You can insert text. Say you wanted to put some instructions. Very, very easy. You can create it. Right? Maybe you even have like one of the arrow and the wayfinding things to help out. And then you can upload a image, right? So you could actually upload an image here. And let me just, for an example, so let's do for something like that, right? So we have our digital creator logo. Call it digital, we create it and select it. So it's huge, but we could place it there, for instance, if we wanted to. The problem about placing photos is you have to edit it in something else first. So you might need to just do trial and error. Some photos don't exactly fit all the way, so you might need to do some trial error just to fix them, because unfortunately there's no way in Gather to actually shorten it. So personally, what I recommend doing is using just the objects you have, and if you really want to add a photo, you just need to sort of experiment with it. And then if you really want to add a photo, you can edit it in something called Preview. If you have Mac, you just need to take the pixels and make it smaller, okay? All right, what else can I show you? So I'm going to show you a couple other things. We'll first show something called the portal. So I'm only using, this doesn't actually teleport you somewhere else. It actually just is just an object to sort of make it look like a portal. But how you actually do the portal is you go to tile effects and you'll see something called portal. So if I click on that and then I click on my little portal thing, it gives me two options, portal to a room or portal to another space. Now say I wanted to connect my space back to the digital creator space. I would click portal to another space, and then I would need the Gather.town URL. So what I'll do here is I'll take the URL from here. Copy invite link. And I can put that right there, confirm, right? So when I do that, and I won't do that now, it'll actually bring me back to the original space, which is really cool. You can also create new rooms. So if I put room 2, when I press on the create new room option at the bottom right hand corner, it gives me 3 different options. I can create a blank room, choose from template, or choose from an existing space. So say I wanted to choose from their template. They have a lot of different cool options if you choose from their template. A lot of different cool things. Say I wanted to choose, I don't know. I want to do like an adventure one, don't you? We could do... Having trouble picking which one I want to do. Let's do, I really love these tiny islands one. They're so pretty. Okay, so we'll go ahead and save that. And oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't actually click where I wanted to do it. So just to show you how I can go to the other room, right? Let's go ahead and actually erase that portal. So now I want to make this portal go to my other room. So what I would do, I would click on the portal. I would say go to another room. Click on the room. So I pick room 2. And then you have to pick where to spawn in, right? So let's say I want to spawn in right here. Okay. So now I'll show you what that looks like. We'll go and hold on. Let me just make sure I saved. There you go. So now we're on this deserted island. But here's a problem. We don't know how to get back, right? That's kind of an issue. So what we can do instead is make another portal. So I'm going to go to my room 2. I'm going to lay down another teleport option. And I'm going to do the same portal again, right? I'll click on the portal and portal to a room. But I want to go back to my original room, which in this case is just called empty room small brick, right? So then when I do that, I am brought here so I can choose where to spawn in, and I'll just click right there. Why not? So I'm going to save that. You can see a teleporter arrived, and now I'm back. So this is really, really cool because then you could link rooms in a really cool way. You can do little adventures, have little secret passageways, and there's sort of a lot you can do to make a really customizable space, right? There's a lot that is available to you at your fingertips. So the last thing I'll show you is just using broadcast, Spotlight, okay? So Spotlight is an option for when, say you have a bunch of different rooms that are private, right? So not everyone can be listening to anyone at the same time because maybe they're in a private room or maybe they're in a different space. You want a way for everyone to listen to you all at once, right? So that's what the Spotlight tiles do. When you step on them, everyone can hear you, and maybe you need to make an announcement. That's how you do it. Okay, so say I want the spaces I want the spotlight spaces on the grass in the corner. Okay, so I'll do that. So when I walk over to the corner, it says at the bottom, you have stepped on a spotlight. Here, wait, it disappeared. You have stepped on a spotlight square, now broadcasting to the whole room. So now, even though this is a private space, when I step on this, they'll be able to hear me, okay? So that's how you do that. If you're hosting maybe an online party, that's a really good way to like make an announcement, say like, okay, we're gonna start, I don't know, the singing happy birthday, or, you know? So that's how you would go ahead and do that. And then lastly, I'll just go ahead and tell you how to like invite your friends and what privacy is built in, right? Because it is important to have privacy. So there's a couple of options you can do. If you go to settings and you click on space access, you have the option to set a password. So right now I don't have a password, but you can enter some sort of password. Say I want it to be like, you know, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, something like that, right? And then I would go ahead and save it. I won't do that for now, but once you save it, it's now the password for the space. And then you could also just remove that password easily, right? So that's just a way to sort of have a safeguard in case you wanted to have that so that random people can't just log on, right? There's a couple different options too. You can also shut down a space, right? If you want to make sure no one's in the space when you're not there, you can go ahead and shut down. It'll kick everyone out of the space. And you can also set different roles for people. So if you wanted to have your friend collaborate with you on a space too, you can go ahead and add people to the space and then make them an administrator. And you do this here. You see for right now, I am an admin and a builder. You can just as easily make someone else a builder by adding them first, sending an email, sending an invite, and then once they're on, you can make them a builder, which is a really cool feature. And lastly, how you invite anyone is you go to sort of the people icon at the bottom left-hand side and you click invite. And now you can either add them through email, you could send an email invitation, or you can just copy the link. And when you copy the link, it expires in 30 days. And you'll see if I send it in chat, that it comes as a little link. And once you click on the link, you'll just automatically be brought to the space. And so your friends and family can easily just take a look and hang out with you in space. It just really makes things much more exciting than a Zoom. At least I think so. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching and joining me. If you have any questions at all, please reach out to us. My email is tcunningham.n2m2l@gmail.com, but you could also just reach out to us on our website at digitalcreator.ca. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope to see you soon.